Choose your main for midnight. What's up guys, Petko here. We have crafted a spreadsheet with my community and I. A very long discussion summarized in pretty much less than 10 minutes, numerically valued every single DPS spec in the game by several factors: single target, AoE, prior target, fun on damage, survivability, playstyle fun, and also utility. Now keep in mind, we do this every single season and it's mostly pretty much a entertainment spreadsheet that I use myself to choose the odds, but as always I'm here to share it with you, and if you guys like to play around with it, I'm going to explain briefly what it means. Feel free to, if you're still confused what to play, or if you're uncertain between a couple of specs, you can just spin the wheel and perhaps look at this information and decide, you know what, that's going to be the one. Once again, there's a lot of factors that go into it. If you only care about damage, I'm going to show you damage and etc. Anyway, enjoy it, and as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe. A lot more coming your way. Alright, so the TLDR here is, once again, there are 6 factors. For the people that do not know this factor code, priority target funnel damage is pretty much how well you do single target or focus one mob while doing AoE. Some spec, for example, can cleave off one target, while others don't have that damage profile, which definitely is something that is a bit troublesome, especially once you get to start climbing those high keys. Now, for the low level keys, average keys don't matter. Now, the first section is only damage. Now keep in mind, this is still very early into midnight prep. We have 1 more month until the expansion release. I will continuously update it every single Saturday. But for now, as you can see here, a lot of guys are interested. I have the ranks for only damage currently. As you can see on the very top here, we have Demolog to be absolutely crazy OP right now on single target to AoE. Pretty tanky as well, quite fun to play. Utility wise as well is marked 3.75 out of 5. Now keep in mind, the survivability, playstyle and fun, and utility is only marked from 1 to 5. These are pretty much points, how much points you can collect, right? The damage is marked between 1 to 10 because this is the most important, aspect, just damage. On the very top of the bracket, nothing really surprises us. I mean, the only surprise here is that Feral Druid is 11th. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay, so Feral Druid is on a 10th place. A bit of a surprise, but a lot of people still underestimating how strong Feral is. After the most recent buffs, not only buffs, but they also fixed the Apex talents to work in AoE, so now they contribute around roughly between 9 to 11% of your overall damage, which is actually pretty cool, on top of the flat buffs you get. Now keep in mind, the playstyle is still pretty trash, but at least the damage is a lot better, especially sustained damage. Nothing really surprised me here. I mean, some spec has, for example, incredibly good single target while the AoE being trash. Example here is Monk. Monk AST is pretty good, but the AoE, as you can see, it is pretty trash. Keep in mind, this is pretty much with a 4-piece, with Apex talents, with max level, and pretty much max gear, right? It's pretty much what they can do at the maximum capacity of the specs. We see Havoc being pretty fun to play, and pretty tanky, but the damage so far has been pretty shit. I mean, that's actually pretty good for Havoc. I know this might sound like a cap, but at least here's the deal. You know that you're good to play, you're fun to play, you have very nice prior target damage and good damage profile. You have arguably one of the tankiest spec right now because of the buffs, but the damage is pretty bad. That is a no-brainer. They will buff you. The moment you get buffed, they're gonna climb the rankings, which actually is not that bad. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same thing about the Red Power, about the Boomy, about the Windwalker Monk, where they are fundamentally flawed. Once again, I go into depth for every single spec and class in the game. Check out the tier list. I break down of exactly why each spec goes in A, B, C, and S tier, but to give you perspective, Red Paladin design-wise is flawed. Even if they get buffed, at most they will be mediocre. I mean, I guess it depends how much buffs are gonna be. So yeah, that's about Red Paladin. I don't think the spec that should get buffed or nerfed. I think the redesign, or at least further design of the Retribution Paladin, is something they can benefit the most. The same thing I can say about Balance Druid. The design of Balance Druid has been same mode, and it's disaster to play on low level keys. Once again, they try to minimize the ramp up time, but it's still a massive issue. Anyway, end of the app. I go into depth for every single spec in the class. I'm not gonna dive right now into it, but this was pretty much a 3-hour discussion on stream. I'm gonna try to keep it under 10 minutes. I want to show you now the damage score, plus survivability, plus utility without the fun factor, because some people don't care about fun, and fun is very subjective. So here it is. Okay, so now when I count survivability and utility, the rankings change a little bit. You can see mages going down a bit, you can see Ellie, you can see Subrogue, you can see Death Evoker going down, and now people are going to be like, hold up a second, Petko, why the heck is Death Evoker going down? Well, even though Devastation is one of the strongest AoE performers, and also on ST looking actually pretty decent in Mythic Plus, again with Mythic Plus builds, their prior damage is non-existent. Now their prior damage was the best in the game by far, called Consume Flame, but that got changed a while back, and now it was pretty much nuked. So now the only prior you have is pretty much what? Azure Strike, Azure Swipe. I mean, Azure Swipe becomes Azure Strike. No, Azure Strike becomes Azure Swipe, which does more damage on the target you actually focus, which again, it is pretty shit. So all things considered, that is the only thing that is, putting you down. If you don't count the prior target damage, it's still gonna be insane, right? But we gotta count it at some point. We see Feral Druid climbing on a third spot. Now this might be a little bit of a cap, but I swear to you, if you can actually see how Feral plays, I think the consistent AoE damage of Feral Druid is actually pretty strong. I am not even capping. Especially now that Brewmaster is considered one of the best tank. And if you think about the OG physical comp, the Feral Druid, the Outlaw Rogue, for example, the Fury Warrior, Brewmaster Monk, Restoration Shaman, all of those combined together, in my opinion, is gonna make Feral Druid stonks much better than Boomy. I am trying to not overhype the spec, but so far this looks to be one of the, specs that nobody pays attention. And I guarantee you, you're gonna see people pay the price for it. I'm not saying it's gonna be meta, but all things considered. So a lot of specs are going down, even though they can do way more damage than some specs ranked higher. It's just because we value the fun playstyle. We value as well, we value the utility together. We value the survivability. Obviously, neither of this would matter. It's just pretty much my perspective, how I think things are. But I can see consistently Outlaw Rogue being like within a top 10 performance. Even damage wise, you can see Outlaw is like what, 7th on a place. On overall rankings is like what, 8. I mean, that's pretty good. This is overall score, by the way, with absolutely everything, and not many things are shifting around. Once again, we see Devourer doing not so great. Now, Devourer is a spec that is absolutely nuts on high level keys, because the more mobs you pull, the more uptime of your major cooldowns you're gonna have, the better damage you're gonna be. But on mid to low level keys, Devourer is a disaster. Like outside of cooldowns, you actually do less than a pro paladin. And that is, one of the things that it really bothers me. Okay. Yeah. I mean, what else could I say, chat, about that? I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, I will try to keep this updated every single Saturday. Let me know if you guys like this kind of content, or if this video helps in any shape or form. If you guys have any feedback, let me know in the comments below. And if there's any spec that surprised you, I have already set my eyes to main Ellie Shaman, disregarding how well it is or how bad it is. But for my ults, I haven't decided yet. I wanna play 3 ults. I am unsure which one are to be, and maybe in a month from now I'm gonna know, better. Anyway, hope you liked the video. Once again, any questions, feel free to put it down below. I'm gonna try to export all of this information to a singular guide on IC Reigns, because this is so laggy. Today I couldn't even complete it because it was just terrible. But here's what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna show you a small preview. It's gonna look something like this, which is gonna be pretty neat, and I think for the most part it will be easier to digest and watch. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Much love. Bye for now.